So the Baltimore Ravens just had their first day of padded practices and training camp. We got some huge updates on the offensive line battle, as well as Lamar Jackson missing another day of practice due to injury, some injury updates, the biggest plays on offense today, and much more Ravens coverage. So welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing y'all our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Ravens today. At number 1, let's talk about what John Harbaugh had to say and an update on this offensive line battle. So John Harbaugh said there's a number of padded practices upcoming that's going to help determine and evaluate this offensive line battle in group drill today. I think we got a little sneak peek of what could be the first team of who they're evaluating for this offensive line. And so far, we got left to right, Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees at left guard, Tyler Linderbaum, of course, at center, the third-year All-Pro center, right guard, Daniel Falele, and then right tackle, Patrick Mekari. And by the way, Coach D talked about Patrick Mekari at the right tackle position today and said that he's very consistent and reliable when it comes to someone with experience before they can fully trust what they're getting out of the rookie and Roger Rosengarten. It could be Patrick Mekari starting at that right tackle spot. We also got an update on Lamar Jackson as he missed practice today. John Harbaugh said that he's being evaluated by the doctors and that he was dealing with some more energy and hydration level issues. And he even said, he was like, if you've ever been sick, sometimes it takes a little bit. Just about a week or two ago when I came back from Brazil, I got really sick the last 2 days while in Brazil. And I remember I got so sick, there was a time where like my legs were cramping, I could barely walk, and I was just like miserable. And I started to recover. I tried to come back here and hopped on the treadmill at the gym, and I just was dead. My lungs were gone. My lungs were not having it. So it takes a little bit to get your wind back, to get your energy back, your hydration levels all right. So I'm not stressing about Lamar Jackson right now. Yeah, it'd be great to see him out there building more chemistry with this, the second year of this offense and his receivers. But he is still sick and dealing with that illness. Speaking of some receivers, we got some offensive highlights from today. Tez Walker catches a fade, the rookie receiver with the 4.3 speed that we're getting pretty excited about. He's making some plays. John Harbaugh at the end of practice gave the offense 3 chances to score from the 4-yard line. It only took 1 play. Todd Monken dialed up the fade, and Devin Leary, fellow rookie, hit Devontae Walker, who beat Nate Wiggins for the touchdown. Some other offensive highlights today was Nelson Aguilar taking a slant nearly for a long touchdown. A great route from Rashad Bateman. Again, Rashad Bateman making plays versus Nate Wiggins. Likely caught a touchdown pass as well. But overall, still the defense had its way. It's reported that there was a lot of free runners to the quarterback and a lot of blitzes and, constantly under pressure back there for the quarterback. So it's like, it's always interesting when you get these reports out of training camp, because when you hear, the defenders and the defense was constantly in the backfield, you're like, heck yeah, lots of pressures, lots of sacks. I want to see this for our defense. But then for the offense, you're like, man, we kind of need some protection, and you get a little bit concerned about the offensive line. But usually how it goes in training camp is the defense dominates the first week or two, and then it starts to balance out a little bit as it goes on. Usually the defense has the leg up as the offense is still doing installs, building chemistry, and working out all the routes and the timing and everything like that. One other injury update real quick. Kyle Van Noy dealing with a minor neck issue. Doesn't seem to be too concerning or serious, but he was not at practice today, so something to look out for with the veteran pass rusher who the Ravens brought back in free agency this year. At number 3, Zay Flowers was on the Lounge podcast, and there was a couple of big takeaways from this interview. First off, he was asked about, how he could have some more touchdowns this year. And one of the things was instead of cutting back, keep running straight. Here's what he had to say.
I think I just got to lock in a little bit more on the little small details. And a lot of times I could have had a few more touchdowns if I would have just ran straight. So this year I'm focused on running straight and not moving side to side.
Were you doing that, making that just thinking that was going to maybe get you more open? Or?
Yeah, like I said before, if I'm running straight, I see the defender before he even get to being close to me, and I make the move and cut back. I had one versus the Texans where I caught a little 5-yard hitch and I spent out of it, and I could have just ran straight. and scored, but I cut back because I seen him. I felt like he was moving faster than what I thought. Okay. And then I had another one versus Detroit where I caught the over the middle, and I could have just ran straight in the end zone, but I cut back. So just stuff like that, just running straight and focus on the small details, not doing too much.
Kind of remembering that you're really fast too.
Yeah. I be underestimating my speed a lot.
So yes, there was a few times last year where Zay Flowers, he's so shifty, he's got to be tempted to show off the jukes and the shiftiness and elusivity every time he touches the football. But sometimes, he's also got straight line 4.4 speed to where he can just run away from defenders. That's what he's going to do more of this year. He also talked about the rematch with Kansas City. He had a monster game, over 100 yards, touchdown. Should have had 2 touchdowns before that fumble right at the goal line where, the corner made a fantastic play. He was beating himself up a little bit, kind of hurting after the first few days, but Lamar Jackson reached out to him. He went over, hung out with Zay, said, "Don't beat yourself up, dude. We're going to go after it next year." He had a chance to talk about that rematch with Kansas City, and here's what he had to say.
Rule was released, and Chiefs are week 1.
What you think? I'm trying to get my get back. And they let me try to get the first game. So let's go.
Right.
That's why I'm out here working every day. So
that smile of yours just says everything. It just says everything. I mean, that has to be a good feeling. Like, you're a guy that's driven to be one of the best, I mean, and there's an opportunity against the defending champions, against the team that you played. Hey, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Yep. Is that kind of the mentality you take into this summer preparation for that game?
Absolutely. That's what it was last year. The 2 best teams met at the end, and we played.
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to be, the first game.
Yeah.
And we can start the season off with a bang. That's all I'm looking towards.
Zay Flowers is going to have a monster year. He's clearing 1,000 yards. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns. He's going to make a lot of plays for our Ravens. And I'm fired up about what Zay's going to do in this offense with Todd Monken in the second year. At number 4, Sean McVay, a very respected Super Bowl winning head coach, has a lot of respect for the Ravens defense, specifically with what Mike McDonald did last year. And I think we're going to see a lot of similar things with Zachary Orr, but with Zach Orr putting his flavor on it and his own, personality on the defense as well. Here's what Sean McVay had to say on this Ravens defense that's looking to return to elite form in 2024.
The teams that are the best, usually get mimicked and emulated and really studied hard. And so you say, why were they successful? Here's the thing I would say going into that game. I got a ton of respect for Mike McDaniel and their coaching staff and those players that brought the stuff to life. What I think when you watch that team, there was a clear-cut identity. There was an understanding of the intent of what he was calling and how they could execute it. There was a great idea and understanding of how to utilize their personnel. I thought they rushed 4 as 1 as well as anybody. I mean, they had a great ability to be able to play off one another. I thought Mike did a great job of mixing in, pressures, understanding situations, understanding how to attack protections. Kyle Hamilton, I think, is one of the ultimate chess pieces. I love that guy. He and I went to the same high school, but I think he's such a baller. I thought they did a great job of playing coverages where you're like, I don't know what I'm going against because of the way they're teaching guys. They teach an understanding of how route concepts distribute and how you don't have to work as hard throughout the course of the down to allow things to be able to progress. You felt like you were playing against 13 players sometimes. And obviously, Roquan does such a great job with his communication, his command. I thought Patrick Queen was excellent. But really, overall, I thought they were such a well-coordinated and a well-executed defense from the players to the coaches. And I respected the coordinators the most, that you can see an intent behind what they're trying to get done. And I thought that showed up consistently on his tape.
High praise from Sean McVay, talking about how it seemed like there was 13 defenders on the field. I also love how he talked about Kyle Hamilton, how special he is. This guy, Kyle Hamilton, I 100% believe he's going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. And that's specifically what Zach Orr said that his vision was for Kyle Hamilton, was to win a Defensive Player of the Year. That's how talented he is and just how effective he can do so many things. And he's going to be a big part of the defense this upcoming year. At number 5, Todd Monken, our offensive coordinator, talked about Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews. Check out what he had to say.
The best catches so far this week have been from Rashad. How important do you think that is for him, especially given how he started camp late last year to get the confidence rolling?
Well, you'd have to ask him in terms of, for him, I think he's always had a belief in himself as a player. I think it's good for all of us, quarterbacks, collectively as a team. We're expecting a big year from Rashad. Once he got fully healthy, which wasn't for a while last year, was hurt, got healthy, got nicked up again, came on. We're expecting great things from him, and he is from himself. It's hard to find a more competitive player than Mark. Not only winning, but contributing, catching the ball, playing hard. holding others accountable. I mean, he's in a rare category of that. To me, that's what makes him the player that he is. Sure, he's athletic. Sure, he's got great ball skills. And sure, he's got great football savvy. But the guy loves playing football. You see it, he competes every day. I mean, he's full speed. He wants the ball every play, sometimes to a fault, but he wants it every play, holds himself to a really high standard. Again, he's in elite category.
All of the coaching staff between Todd Monken, the wide receivers coach, John Harbaugh, Rashad Bateman himself, Zay Flowers, his teammates, like everyone has high belief in Rashad Bateman and what he can do. He continues to stack practices, which is so good because we know last year he didn't have training camp. And now, Todd Monken gets to see him making plays in training camp and build that trust to dial him up some plays and get him earlier in the route progression. Have him be the 1 or the 2 in the progression instead of the 4 or 5 backside read. And that's why I'm really eager to see Lamar back, practicing again, because I want to see him and Rashad connecting and building that chemistry before the season comes. And I want him to have some trust and rapport that they're building here early in the process. And we already know about Mark Andrews. Todd Monken saying he's an elite status. Of course, I think he's the second best tight end in football behind Travis Kelce. Of course, Sam Laporta had a great year last year as well. But Mark Andrews has been a high-level performer year in and year out for a long time. Coming into the league with Lamar Jackson, that's his guy. And the amount of damage that these 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets are going to do to defenses this year, you're just going to have to wait and see, because Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely on the field together. So if you're in 12 personnel and your 2 receivers are Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman most of the time, and then Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, and then Derrick Henry in the backfield, my goodness, does that put stress on defenses, because you can go so many different places with the football and they can all threaten you and hurt you big time. I'm so excited for this offense. As always, man, if you got any value out of today's content, make sure to leave the video a like. It does really help out the channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Don't forget to have your subscribe and notification bell on so you don't miss any content that we upload, man. We got so much planned for you guys this upcoming year. 14 days away from our first preseason game, 41 days until kickoff versus Kansas City to open up the NFL season opener. Football's right around the corner, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.